Hi friends, and welcome to Book a Day for Little Learners. Friends, today we continue our Groundhog books in honor of Groundhog's Day on February 2nd. Friends, this book is called 10 Grouchy Groundhogs. Grouchy means you aren't very happy. Like you didn't wake up in a very good mood, and sometimes you have a frown on your face and your eyes are kind of squinched together. This book is by Catherine Helling and Deborah Hembrook, and it's illustrated by Jay Johnson. Friends, if you aren't already a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe. We do a new story every single day. And I also would appreciate if you like the reading of this book that you hit the like button. Thanks so much, friends. 10 Grouchy Groundhogs. Friends, another word for groundhog is woodchuck. 10 grouchy groundhogs crowded in their den. They squirmed and they stretched, and then one grouchy groundhog announced with a shout, "This den is too small. Let me out, out, out." And he for sure sounds grumpy. 9 grubby groundhogs working in their den, and then one grubby groundhog announced with a shout, "I gotta have a bath. Let me out, let me out." He does look dirty, doesn't he, friends? Friends, after 9 grubby groundhogs, if one left, there are going to be 8 graceful groundhogs dancing in their den. They swooped and they swirled, and then one graceful groundhog announced with a shout, "Dancing makes me dizzy. Let me out, out, out." Friends, dizzy means if you've been spinning around, when you stop spinning, your head still feels like it's spinning. 7 gabby groundhogs, gabby means they talk a lot, chatting in their den. They gibbered and they jabbered, and then one gabby groundhog announced with a shout, "Give me peace and quiet. Let me out, out, out." They were talking too much for him, I guess, friends. 6 goofy groundhogs tumbling in their den. They rolled and they romped, and then look at them doing all of their acrobatics. One goofy groundhog announced with a shout, "I'm too tired from tumbling. Let me out, out, out." 5 groovy groundhogs singing in their den. They hummed and they strummed. That means they played like their guitar. And then one groovy groundhog announced with a shout, "Hey, I'm a rock star. Let me out, out, out." He has a bit of an attitude, doesn't he, friends? So if there were 5, now there are going to be 4 gobbling groundhogs. Friends, we use the word gobbling oftentimes around Thanksgiving. The sound a turkey makes is gobble, gobble, but gobbling means that they were eating. 4 gobbling groundhogs dining in their den. They chomped and they chewed, and then one gobbling groundhog announced with a shout, "I have a toothache. Let me out, out, out." That's not good if he hurt his tooth. All right, we had 4. Now we're going to go to 3 glitzy groundhogs. Glitzy means shiny and glittery. Grooming in their den. Grooming means they're taking care of their physical needs. So they're like brushing their hair, brushing their teeth. She's putting lipstick on, drying her hair. 3 glitzy groundhogs grooming in their den. They primped and they puffed, and then one glitzy groundhog announced with a shout, "Powder makes me sneeze. Let me out, out, out." The powder, you sometimes powder your face, so you put this powder on your face to make it not shine. so much, and so then the powder is bothering her. 2 giggly groundhogs running around their den, sliding down the tunnels, and then, ooh, that looks fun, then 1 giggly groundhog announced with a shout, "Winter might be over. Let me out, out, out." Oh, she's gonna be the groundhog that goes up first. Let's see. 1 grumpy groundhog wondered with a pout. A pout is when you make your mouth frown and sometimes your bottom lip comes out. "Where are all my friends? Time to go find out." Oh, I think he's gonna go. Friends, look at the big mess that they made all over their den. When 1 grumpy groundhog glanced outside his den, he counted all the groundhogs, not 1 or 2, but 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 timid groundhogs looked around and then, startled by their shadows, dived back down again. Timid means that you're not very outgoing, that you are maybe a little bit nervous about talking to someone for the first time. And sometimes you outgrow that, but it's okay if you're timid. There are lots of different ways to be. So when Groundhog's Day comes, the groundhog comes out of his den, and if it's sunny out, he will see his or her shadow. And if you see the shadow of a groundhog, it means there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. But if the groundhog comes out and it's cloudy, then there's no shadow, then spring is going to come soon. So this group of 10 groundhogs all saw their shadow, and so they went right back in. They weren't going to come out for another few weeks because of it being so cold. 10 grinning groundhogs, grouchy no more, snug in their den, snore, snore, snore. Good night, groundhogs. According to the legend of Groundhog Day, groundhogs can predict whether spring will come. On February 2nd, the groundhog comes out of his burrow to take a look around. If he sees his shadow, the shy groundhog gets scared and runs back into his burrow to sleep for another 6 weeks of winter. But if it's a cloudy day on February 2nd, the groundhog doesn't get scared away. He stays outside, which means that spring will arrive very soon. This is cute. Sometimes the back of books have reviews on them by other people. And this is by Pittsburgh Patty. "Whether you like groundhogs or not, you'll spring for this silly story." "Jolly good book, I say," says Captain Beauregard. And then Jenny the groundhog says, "Shadows? I ain't afraid of no shadows." Friends, I hope you enjoyed this version of 10 Grouchy Groundhogs. It was not only a 10-to-1 counting book, but each of the 10 groundhogs each did something different. And in the end, they did see their shadow, and so they went back into their burrow. Friends, I hope that you enjoyed the video, that you'll give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another groundhog story. See you then, friends.